You are listening to Into Your Head, a listener-supported podcast. Please visit intoyourhead.com/tipjar.
Hello. I'm just getting down to sitting down to exporting today's episode of Into Your Head to the appropriate program whereby I can upload it and make it available to you at the appropriate time and space. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, the content is absolutely fantastic anyway. It's one of the better episodes of Into Your Head, if I do say so myself. However, there is one problem. The first segment that you're going to hear contains a couple of jumps in the audio. Sorry about that. Couldn't be helped. But once you create art like this, you can't just go back and remake it like a frigging movie. No. If there was problems in the first Star Trek, where there was jumps in the audio, they can't just go back and remake it and have the exact same thing except without the technical errors. No. For one thing, half of the actors are dead. Half of the actors from the following segment of today's Into Your Head are dead, so I couldn't just recreate it. And for another thing, it's all made on the fly, so if I start it all over again, there's a good chance that it wouldn't be as good. So you'll just have to excuse the technical jumps in the audio. There's more to life than technical perfection, you know. I suppose if you're a computer programmer, there isn't. If you mess something up in computer programming, you can cause nuclear reactors to explode. You can cause astronauts to get lost in space, although they probably enjoy that. Most astronauts, from the age of 6 months old, they dream of getting lost in space and living there forever. Like your man out of, what's that thing? 2012, A Space Odyssey. Your man who got lost in space. If that was real, that fellow who got flung out into space at the end would have been grinning his head off from ear to ear, because he's an astronaut. It's in his blood. That's what he wants. He wants to just live in space without even a spaceship encapsulating him. That's his dream. It probably took him a few minutes to realise he was living his dream, but by the time he did, of course, he was dead from lack of oxygen. I don't know, but still, it'll all be the same in 100 years, except this MP3 will have deteriorated, because then we'll have realised that MP3s are just like CDs. They deteriorate over time. That's what people haven't realised yet. So for Christ's sake, please make extra copies of this so that your children and your children's children and your children's children's, whatever children have in the next century, if they still have children, I don't know, can enjoy it. And sorry again about the jumps in the audio. On with the show.
Hello, I'm Neil's newest cat, Bowsy II. And when I'm chewing earphone cables, I listen to Into Your Head until they stop working.
You join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's Into Your Head, the temporarily daily breakfast show for Wednesday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be dealt with, topics that need to be treated with kid gloves. I don't know why they say that. In my day, when I was a kid, you wore mittens. You didn't wear gloves. You didn't get to graduate to gloves until you were at least old enough to drink coffee, which in my day was quite old. The only time I got to drink coffee when I was a youngster was when it was snowing for some reason. When it was snowing, my mother would get out a big mug of milk and butter, heat it up in a saucepan, and then put some instant coffee and stir that in with it, and that was what coffee was in those days. Yeah, none of this fancy crap where you go to frigging you'd go in with your school bag on your back in your school uniform into Costa Coffee, and you say, hello, can I have a mocha latte, cappuccino, frotty macco, cappuccino latte, and here's my parents' salary to pay for it. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you're sending your kids off to some fancy coffee bar for their lunch, then there's something wrong with you. You're screwed up in the head somewhere. Not in a good way, in a bad way, in a detrimental way to society. Children drinking large quantities of caffeine is not good for this society. You only have to look at what's been happening in England lately. Last week, every kid in England had coffee. Next thing you know, they were rioting and looting and looting and rioting. They were running rampant all over the streets, burning down the whole of society. I had a dream about this once, about 10 or 15 years ago. I had a dream it was caused by volcanoes or something, but no, the whole place was burning down, everything was on fire. There was fire everywhere. Fire everywhere, and not a drop to heat your coffee with. Absolutely. Have they not already been roasted somehow? Why would you need to boil them? Fucking ridiculous. Everything has to be cooked twice nowadays. They say, here's a pre-prepared burger in a package, but you have to put it in the microwave and cook it again for a minute. Absolutely ridiculous. If it's cooked properly, surely with all this frigging technology, you can have a product that comes cooked. You don't have to cook it again. It comes hot. They keep it hot. Surely to Christ, it's not beyond the abilities of scientists to make something hot and then keep it hot forever until it's consumed. Absolutely ridiculous. If they can do it with frigging, they can dry freeze stuff and it remains bullet. Things don't become unfreeze dried until you add water to them. So surely to Christ, things that are cooked can remain cooked and piping hot until you're ready to use them. It's not like you're going to throw ice on them. I suppose it would be reasonable to expect that an item that you added ice to would become uncooked then. Even then, that's not the case. They have these cooked things that you can freeze, and then you unfreeze them and they're still cooked, they're just not hot. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Science makes no sense as far as I'm concerned. This whole freaking thing of people saying, science this, science that, science the other. Everything is freaking science nowadays. They have the National Union of Scientists, and they put a thing in the paper. They'll say, look, some scientists has just done an experiment and come up with evidence and proof that some disease is caused by injecting the disease into your elbow, and suddenly everyone believes it. They'll say those people are going around injecting diseases into their elbows. They're bringing it upon themselves. Have no sympathy for them. They can't possibly have caught that disease in the wild. This is why. Something along the lines, I don't remember the exact details, but he said something along the lines of those people who get AIDS, they just get needles and they're injecting them into a monkey to get the monkey's blood, and then they're injecting the monkey's blood into themselves to get high. And that's how it spread to humans, they say, because some monkey got AIDS once. Never occurs to anyone to ask, how the freaking hell did that original monkey get AIDS? Presumably he had HIV first. But where did he get that? That's the question. I don't know. Where would you get HIV if it wasn't freely available and you were a monkey who didn't even know anything about it? I thought monkeys were supposed to be intelligent. They're supposed to be one of the most intelligent creatures available to man. But no, apparently they go around spreading diseases all over the place. I've got an animal disease at the moment. I've got ringworm on my right forearm. I don't know if it's all day long until it was gone. I'd have to start charging €100 an episode. See intoyourhead.com/tipjar. But no. There's going to be none of that crap. Podcasting was not invented as a medical treatment for animal diseases on humans. Not that you can't use it. Not that there's anything wrong with using something for which wasn't originally intended. Just because Thomas Edison created a light bulb in order to light things up, that doesn't preclude you from using it to cook a sandwich. In fact, I'm surprised nobody does this. They're perfectly happy to go bringing flasks around with their coffee in them to work, but nobody thinks of bringing in a light bulb to sit their toasted sandwich on to keep it warm. I don't know. Absolutely fucking ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. beginning to notice a lot of things seem ridiculous to me. I seem to be saying that phrase a lot. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Maybe I'm just not made for this world. Maybe I'm of another time and another space. Maybe I've been reincarnated. Maybe I was designed for the 17th century. Is that the one with the 16s or the one with the 18s? I can never remember. The 1600s was the 17th century or the 15th century. I can never remember. It's a very confusing system. It's like the whole thing where they say, if you're 5 years old, if you've just passed your 5th birthday, then you're in your 6th year. It makes no frigging sense whatsoever. Nothing makes sense. Although that was the case back in the 17th century as well. So if I'm of that time, it still wouldn't have made any sense to me, but at least I wouldn't have had all this science and technology annoying me on top of all that. I could have just concentrated on trying to make sense of all the frigging light bulb, not the light bulb, the other stuff. The time and maths and all that. In those days, there was less stuff, so you had more time to try and make sense of it. You didn't have all these blaring bits of media coming in through your ears and mouth and nose. I'm surprised there isn't a medium that comes in through your mouth. We have TV and radio, but nobody yet has invented. Although there's that thing that thing where you have a tube that you put down your mouth with a camera on it. I'm surprised you haven't got one that goes the other way. Instead of putting the camera down your throat, they put some sort of a projector down your throat and shine entertainment straight down into your body. Perhaps maybe if you can't see, that's what they could do. They could inject entertainment through a tube that they put down your esophagus. Be just the opposite of one of those camera things. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, in the old days, they had to cut you open, so that would have been a bit drastic. That would be being highly controversial. People said, I can't see, so I'm going to get an operation to get every 10 years to get 10 years worth of entertainment surgically inserted into me, into my head, so they'll have to cut me open. But of course, no. Nowadays it would be a lot less controversial because they just jam a tube in through possibly even just a needle, and they inject the entertainment into your blood system. Of course, all of this is theoretical. None of this exists at all, and that's the problem nowadays. It's not enough to have all this crap that we have to think about and make sense of. We have this imaginary stuff as well, and I apologise for burdening you with it, with all this imaginary stuff, when there's enough to make sense of already in the real world. But quite frankly, sometimes I give up on the real world and I retreat into this imaginary stuff. Sorry about that.
Hey everyone, Brian Jude here, and I'd like to talk to you about the film that I'm making, The Miracle Man. I had a campaign a while ago to raise some development funds, and I find myself needing some more funds for especially legal fees. If you've contributed before, thank you very much, and if you haven't, here's a chance to do so. Go to tinyurl.com/mmfund2. That's tinyurl.com/mmfund and the number 2. And you can check out the different perks that I have to offer there for your contributions. And if you have contributed before, feel free to contribute again, or in either case, please spread the word, especially if you know people who might be interested in funding this kind of thing. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks and take care. Bye-bye.
Monkey nuts. That's what they called them. They called them monkey nuts. I don't know if you've noticed. I've referred to these quite a lot lately. I think I might be becoming obsessed with monkey nuts. Sorry about that again. There I go, apologising again. I shouldn't apologise for everything. I've nothing to be sorry about. This is a perfectly adequate episode of Into Your Head. Just because I've mentioned monkey nuts before doesn't make it an issue that I should have to apologise for. There's absolutely no crime involving mentioning monkey nuts. Unless I suppose, if you're threatening someone with them, you could say, I'm going to turn you into monkey nuts. It doesn't even mean anything. How could it be a threat? You can't issue a threat that doesn't even mean anything. You can't go up to someone and say, hello, I'm going to I'm going to make you look at a newspaper upside down from the other side of the universe. That's completely unrealistic. Unrealistic crime. Next we'll be doing that Tom Cruise thing, that future crimes thing from that movie. We'll be saying, in a future time, you kill somebody with a waffle iron because they said something about monkeys to you, and you thought they were threatening to inject you with the AIDS virus, so you defended yourself with a waffle iron and you killed yourself in the future. Now we don't know whether it's in this universe or a parallel one, but frankly we don't care. We're just going to arrest you anyway as a preventative measure, and we're going to slam you, we're going to put you in jail, but only until the exact time and date when you're due to commit the crime. As soon as that moment passes, we'll release you, because then the danger will be over, unless of course you go ahead and commit the crime, in which case we'll have to extend your stay in prison, because committing crimes is illegal. So as a preventative measure, we're going to lock you up now. If you wouldn't mind coming with us. We've got a straight jacket here. We're going to push it around you, or push it in. How'd you get into a straight jacket? I assume you pull it down over your head, or someone else. Usually it's not voluntary. It's not voluntary, or maybe I can say voluntary as well. I'm allowed to put emphasis on different syllables just because everyone else in society says voluntary. Why can't I say voluntary? Maybe I happen to like the latter syllables in some words more than other people, and I put stress on those. There's not anything wrong with that. It's not a frigging crime. Jesus Christ, we have to conform to people's preferences for which syllables in a word should be stressed most now. Next they'll have us going around wearing running shoes with tick marks on them to confirm that we're okay. It's like living in some frigging black and white 50s sci-fi movie on BBC Two. Next they'll be doing that thing. That thing where they come along when you reach 30 years of age, they come along and they bring you to a place and they kill you because you're in a science fiction movie and there's no escape. It's like 1984 with George Orwell, except it's in the real world, or else it's not in the real world, but you've somehow become part of a fake science fiction movie. But whether it's real or not doesn't matter if you're being killed. It's all the same. Once that happens, there's no maybe there is. I was going to say there's no going back. But in these science fiction movies, they have time travel. But I'm pretty sure you can't just travel back in time after you've been killed. I suppose someone else could travel back to the time when you were alive, but if you're dead, you're not going to get in the time machine and travel back. Maybe someone else can bring you. I don't know. I don't really know how the death and time travel thing works. I think it's probably a theological matter. So I'm not going to interfere with your beliefs one way or the other. That's for you people to decide what you do and don't believe in terms of time travel. Does the Bible say anything about time travel? I wonder. I don't know. I haven't read it in full. It's quite long. I've read Stephen King's The Stand, which is 1,428 pages, small print, in the US edition that I got anyway about 15 years ago. I read every single word in that book, and I watched the TV mini-series. I had that on videotape. I think I bought that in America too. One of those DVD players that you can trick it and you can con it into playing DVDs from another continent that it's not supposed to be able to play. Absolutely fantastic. I cheated the system. The system didn't want me to import DVDs and watch them on my continent when I've bought them on another continent. But I cheated the system. Absolutely fantastic. I win at life because I managed to watch Stephen King DVD from turned out it was a pile of crap, but still, it's the principle. That's what it is. It's the principle. Everything is about your principles. Don't ever lose your freaking principles. Those are the most important thing. It's not about whether a freaking Stephen King TV mini film series was any good. It's about whether you stuck to your principles and you stood up for what you believe in. That's what I believe in anyway, and I'm damn well going to stand up for it. Hello.
You can help grow this free podcast. Follow Neil on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Retweet, like, or share his show announcements to your weird friends every now and then. For many more free ways you can help, visit intoyourhead.com/free.
Sit, Kofi, sit. Good cat.